Hi, I'm Mack with Koenig Equipment. Today we're here with our 1025R tractor. This is one of the packages that we have available for you. This tractor can come with a 54 or 60-inch auto connect deck. Here today we have the 60D auto connect deck. This package also comes with a 120R self-parking loader. This deck is a drive-over auto connect deck, and the self-parking loader, which we'll go over in our next segment, is what all comes together with this. This package is really designed for those who want to be able to do multiple options with the tractor. If you want to do loader work or mow, some people like to leave the loader on, or in previous models have not been able to take the loader off, so they've been stuck with the loader on. The self-parking loader always gives you the option to take that loader off anytime you want more front-end visibility, whether it's just for mowing, or maybe you're running a 3-point implement and you don't want to have to worry about the front end of the tractor, need a little bit more working room, we can take that loader off. Or on the contrary, if you're not mowing and you want to do loader work, you need more ground clearance, like say you're going into the woods, or even if you've got to go over material just around your house, we can back off of this deck and just do loader work. Or if you don't want either one on and you're just going to do 3-point work like we were mentioning earlier, take the loader off, take the deck off, put your 3-point implement on, and go to work. The best part about this whole setup is that with this loader, you can actually take this bucket off and get what we call load and go ramps that attach to this mower deck. So after you've taken the bucket off, backed over your deck, you can actually hook onto your deck with this loader to help lift up the deck for service, for your off-season service, or if you need to check something during your operational season, or even for storage to get the deck out of the way for the winter if you're wanting to take the loader off, the deck off, and run either a 3-point driven snowblower, an angle blade, or even a power broom. We have all those options available for this tractor. So next thing we're gonna do here with our 1025R tractor is we're gonna go through the process of taking off the self-parking loader, followed by taking off our 60D auto connecting deck, just to show you guys how truly easy it is to get the loader off, get the deck off, whether you want to change your setup to loader only, deck only, or have both of them off and strictly run a 3-point attachment. So we're gonna start with our self-parking loader. I'll get up on the tractor and we'll get going. First thing you guys want to do is find flat, level ground. Makes all this a lot easier. We'll go ahead and start up our tractor. Since we're on flat level ground, I've got the bucket level here. I will start the tractor. I will leave it in neutral, as this loader, as it parks itself, will actually help the tractor roll away from the loader itself as it is self-parking. Make sure our parking brake is off, tractor's in neutral. We're gonna take our control stick here and push the loader down. What we wanna watch here is this point here. See how the weight just came off the tractor there? You can do this one of two ways. You can use your hands from the seat to lift it up. Or if you've got a boot or a foot to reach, you can reach with a boot as well. Now that we've unlatched the tractor, we're actually gonna walk this loader off by applying pressure as if we were raising the bucket. Let the loader crawl away from us a little bit. Give us some room for our hydraulic lines. Then we're going to shut the tractor off. Before we get off and take off our hydraulics, we want to take our control stick here, move it left to right like we were moving the bucket, just enough to relieve the hydraulic pressure. Move to our single point coupler here. This loader actually has a spot to store your single point coupler up and out of the way, so you don't have to worry about your hydraulic lines. Make sure the tractor's in neutral, parking brake's on. Go ahead and start the tractor. And we are going to go ahead and just back away from the loader. So now that we're loader free, we are free to either continue mowing with our 60D deck or 54-inch deck, depending on how you guys have it set up. We can throw on a 3-point implement, have a little bit more room to move around in tighter spaces. Or the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this mower deck off, which gives us the option for 3-point implements, or maybe we're gonna do a snowblower because it's winter and run something underneath here so we can power our PTO. Or if we need to change the brackets to run an angle blade or a power broom, we gotta get the deck off of that, so we'll go ahead and do that next. But first, before we continue our project, we're going to cover up our hydraulic couplers on our tractor so we don't get dirt and grime in there from our next project. So the first thing we want to do is we've got 4 gauge wheels around here on the sides that we need to put into a float position. Regardless of where you've got them out to start, we need to put those into a float position that allows that deck to go all the way down flat with the ground to make the tractor easier to get on and off. And the way to do that is there's a spring-loaded pin on the side here. Take that, pull it out, you can see the gauge wheel dropped. Allows that wheel to float up and down. Even if you have this in the lowest pin position, it will not go low enough to allow the deck to disconnect, so always make sure those are in float for full range of travel. Now we're going to do the next 3 wheels. Two more on the other side. Now that our gauge wheels are prepped, let's get the deck set up so that way we can get off and get going. We want to start the tractor. We want to make sure our deck is raised all the way up. Then we're going to take our cut height adjustment knob here. Make sure the arrow is in line with the diagram that shows the tractor driving on and off the deck. Then we're going to go ahead and take that deck, set it all the way down. Notice how the deck went down and the gauge wheels came up. The next piece of advice to get this thing off makes life a lot easier, is I always do this with 4-wheel drive engaged on the right-hand side here. And then I do it in low range as well. Now that we've got the tractor ready and set up to go, we've got one more thing to check on the deck before we pull off. So we will shut the tractor off. All right, so the next thing we want to look at on this deck is there's 2 silver latches here that we want to flip up so they're out of the way and in the floating position. Some decks, some people take the pins out, some people leave them in. We'll have a pin that goes in the top there. We recommend to operate with those in. Go ahead and flip that, and there's one on the other side that we'll get off just as well. Now, I did have to put the tractor back in neutral to start it. We're going to put that back in low range, double check, make sure we've got 4-wheel drive engaged, parking brake off. And then we're just going to throw this tractor in reverse and let her crawl right over the deck. Now as you get to about the halfway point here, you want to take and raise your arms all the way back up with your hydraulic top link so you keep your 3-point arms from going into the ground in the back here. And we're just going to keep crawling off, let the tractor come nice and easy off the deck. And now we're ready to go. So now our 1025R is ready to go, whether we're doing a 3-point implement or, like I said, whether we need to run a PTO shaft underneath to run a snow blower, power broom, whatever front implement we need to do. It gives us a great range of options. And if we need to just go back around and grab the loader later on, we can do that. Now we're going to show you guys how to put the mower deck and the loader back on. So just as when we took the deck off, I want to make sure that my cut height is set in the position to take the deck on and off. I still have my arms all the way up, so that way I can get up on the deck without my 3-point arms being in the way. We're going to start the tractor, operate it in low range with 4-wheel drive engaged, just like we did when we took it off. Makes life a lot easier. Low range, 4-wheel drive. So as we take the tractor on, you want to look over your left front tire here. If you notice the difference, there's a metal bar on top of the deck here. You just want to keep that left front tire just on the outside edge or almost touching it. So the more you come in straight into this, the easier it is. Right now we look pretty good, so we're just gonna let the tractor crawl right on up there with 4-wheel drive, kind of adjusting as we need to as we come on up and over the deck. Getting close to that guide bar is not an issue. Now that we're halfway up, I'm gonna put my hand on my 3-point hydraulics here in the back, lower those down all the way. That way the deck can connect. So you may have actually seen or been able to hear it, but that deck clicked which means our latches that we flipped up earlier flip back and locked into place. Now that we've got the tractor off neutral in the park position, we will get off and confirm that and put our pins back in. Looks like we're good in the front. Pins locked on this side. I'll check the other side. That one is in place. Now that we know they're both locked in place, I put the pin back in over there. We'll take this pin, insert it in over here. Now to get the gauge wheels back up, we need to raise the mower deck back up. So I'll get on the tractor, start it up, raise the mower deck, lock our gauge wheels up depending on what cut height we had before, and go from there. While we're here doing these gauge wheels, this is a good time to point out to you guys that your washout hookup here, the best way for this to work is just the way we parked this loader. Set this deck all the way down with your wheels and float. That'll help give you a better seal, better vacuum when you're using that washout. So just as you're going to take your deck off, now it's always a good time to go ahead and wash it out while it's already set up properly. All right, now that we've got our mower deck back on here, we're ready to get back to either cutting grass or throwing the loader on and doing a little bit of both work. So now we're gonna show you guys how to throw the loader back on. Biggest thing is, depending on how long it's been since you've hooked up the loader, maybe you're doing this all in one day, maybe you take it off because you're putting a blade or a snow blower on in the winter, or maybe you've got it off in the summer because you're just mowing with it. Always make sure your loader hasn't settled. Here we're set up on grass. If you can, we recommend getting a rubber mat if you've got a hard surface to stick it on. That helps keep it from sliding. But as you walk up to it, just kind of give it a general inspection. Doesn't look like this has moved at all since we last took it off. Both of our latch pins on both sides are still flipped up here. Our hydraulic connector is out of the way where we left it. We don't have to worry about it as we park it. The biggest thing is, as long as it's setting where we think it needs to be or where we left it, we should be good to go. If for some reason it is too low as we come into it, we'll put the hydraulic coupler back on. That's one of the first things we're gonna do, and we can adjust the loader from there. So we'll go through here, we'll get it hooked up and show you guys how easy that is. Tractor in low range, we don't need four-wheel drive. Coming into the loader as evenly as possible. Kind of use your mounts here to get level. Looking at our mounts, make sure we're good and square here. Throw our tractor in park, and we'll put our single point coupler back on to get the loader coming back down towards us. As you notice, I did leave a little bit room between the loader and the tractor here as we put our hydraulic coupler on. Just makes it easier to move these lines. We do have 4 hydraulic lines here. They're a little bit stiffer when they're kind of bound and twisted up in there. This allows them to move freely and makes your life a little bit easier as you put the single point coupler on. So a little bit of a tip, leave a little bit of room when you go to put your coupler on before you come in the rest of the way. Now, when we took this loader off, we did lift the mount arms a little bit away from the loader to help park it a little bit better. So I'm going to use the tractor controls to bring that loader down a little bit more before I pull in the rest of the way. That way I can kind of make sure I'm lined up properly. Pushing down on the hydraulic controls, we'll walk the loader down. Continue to press down on the hydraulic controls here. I need to come forward just a little bit more, it looks like, to get this to seat properly. Throw the tractor into neutral now that we've made contact with the loader. Continue to lower the loader down into the frames. Now that we've got our loaders staged here and we can see that the weight has come back down onto the latches here, we're gonna go ahead and throw those latches down. We can either do it by hand, or if you need to grab it with your foot again, you can. The loader frame is now completely locked. We'll go ahead and restart the tractor just to make sure we've got full loader functionality, and we'll be ready to go. All right, now that we've finished putting the loader on, we've got our deck on. This whole package is ready to get out there and get going again. We've got a bunch of options available here at Koenig. Stop by one of our 15 locations today. We can talk about trade-in values, promotions, financing options. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.